Today I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the distribution operator at the electric utility. In the past years, I would say probably 10 years, we've seen a real change in the type of individual that utilities are bringing in as operators. Those types of employees are people typically that have a lot of knowledge base on the power system and understand maybe the field work employees are doing. Now the issue comes with a couple different things. The first thing, of course, is existing employees. A lot of small utilities, and I would say mostly we're looking at the municipals and the electric co-ops, that have had people more or less in a dispatching function than an operator function, are the ones that are really struggling with this whole process. And in my business, I've had an opportunity to work all over the U.S. and pretty much outside. I do some international work also, and I can promise you this is something that I'm seeing all over the U.S. And how do you take a person that has been more or less in a function of talking on the radio, dispatching crews back and forth, and talking to customers on the phone about various activities, like in cutoff type positions? How do you transition that person that's never really done or been out in the field to see any type of work activities being performed? How do you transition that person's or that person's into more of an operator that's operating and managing the power system, sort of seeing the whole system? And using various operating systems, we see SCADA operation, of course, we see OMS, outage management systems, and we see a lot of other systems that are integrated with both of those systems, which give operators the unique ability to kind of see what's happening on the entire power system. Now, once again, as I said earlier, we do have a little bit of a problem there. We can take a person and we can give them the knowledge based on how to operate these systems, but we've also got to look at how do we train that employee to understand how those systems integrate with field work or field activities, so that our workers that are in the field have a comfort level whenever a distribution operator gives them maybe a switching order or works with them on a switching order, that they understand what is in that switching order. So at SET Solutions, we look at trying to work with the utility to come in and develop a process to get this person trained. Now the process can be, and we work with utilities in programs where we've started with getting that person that's been in a dispatch function for a very long time period. We've looked at developing a small program, a one-year program, to try to give them some knowledge based on the power system, all the way up to programs that are about 8 years in training. So we can help the utility. We do this by looking at what type of operating systems, of course, that the utility has or presently is looking at purchasing, and then we try to get those operating systems integrated into a process. And that process pretty much, I think, is a threefold process. It's pairing some academics so that employees understand the fundamentals, and then it's looking at hard skills, getting them to go out and operate these systems. And then the last one is on the job training of getting them to go out in the field and see where these operating systems actually, pretty much where the rubber meets the road out in the field, where the workers out actually having to perform that work activity. So we look at helping them develop cross-training processes of getting these people out in the field, learning how to make their job work, learning how to understand what field workers are actually doing and how their work kind of integrates with what's happening inside the office. So we look at a lot of different things and develop this process. And these processes, to me, are a structured process where we might send somebody out into a overhead crew Now, it's not just sending somebody to an overhead crew. What knowledge base do we want that person to learn when they're out there with the overhead crew? In this training process development, we actually say these are the things that you have to learn, and then you have to give us this knowledge base. As for instance, this is one of the particular books we worked on, and this particular one we're looking at underground transformers. So we've actually, a few pages earlier, we've actually gone in and asked the employee to give us information about the function of the underground transformer, how it works. Then we've come in with a resource guide here to show pictures on where the primary cable might come into the underground transformer, where the secondary cables come in, looking at single phase as compared to three phase, and given some basic information. This is a 1-year training module here, so it's going to be very basic, but it gets into much more depth. At Set Solutions, we can certainly work with you to help develop your distribution operator, and we'd really love the opportunity of coming in, sitting down, talking with your management, trying to get or find out where your needs are, and then to develop a process to make this happen for you. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.